How to change oil on a luxury car. Should you do it? Should you go to a dealer? How much you gonna save? How difficult is it? Well, in my case, I'm changing the oil on my Jag Xjl Supercharged portfolio. I just like saying the name. And surprisingly enough, it's very similar. The only thing I have to do, I'm pointing at the plastic underneath the engine, which I'll show you in a second. You take that off and then you see your oil plug, and then for me, the oil filter is at the top. It's pretty straightforward, but I will show you. The reason why I'm doing it myself is because I'm gonna save a lot of money. I went and bought the oil. The oil was roughly $40, $45, and then my filter, I believe, was like $10. So I'm looking at under $60. I don't know exactly what it costs, so I'll put it on the screen and how much the dealer was going to charge. Here's the plastic shield that goes underneath the engine that protects the bottom of the engine. It consists of 13 bolts and nuts. You have 11 10 millimeter and 2 8 millimeter. You have 5 in the front, 2 in the middle, 1 2 1 2, and then 1 1. It's roughly 50 inches by 38. It's pretty light. It's not an issue. Once you take that off, then you have access to your oil filter plug. Okay, moving under the engine. As soon as you come up to the bolt, which is a 13 millimeter nut, 13 millimeter drain plug, standard. I have my boxing wrench on, about to take it off and drain the oil. Once you remove that plastic, you just have full access to the transmission pan, the oil pan, the exhaust, your catalytic converters, your oxygen sensors, everything as soon as you take the plastic cover off. Obviously, if your oil is hot, you want to put gloves on. Mine isn't, so I don't have my gloves on, and then it just drains right on out. This is a 7-quart drain pan. I advise you to get the largest pan you can get. This is 7 quarts because I believe this takes, it's 7 or 8 quarts to fill this up. I'll put the specs on the screen, but in either way, I have a spare just in case. I have my spare just in case. Alright. Seems to be dying down. This is pretty routine. Right here is the oil plug. As you see, it's roughly 3/4 of an inch. If your rubber washer is torn, ripped, doesn't have the rubber feel to it, then simply replace this. Now it's time to get to the oil filter, which again is on the top under this little plastic cover. Simply just pull the plastic cover off and you reveal where the oil filter goes. I have 2 types of oil filter wrenches. I have this style and I have this style. I'll leave links in both of them, but you simply, for this one, you just put it on and turn, little turn like that. Now I can go ahead and loosen it with my hand. And that's what it looks like down in there. As you see, not too much oil really spills out, and I have no oil on my hands or anything. This is what I love about this system. Okay, here's the old oil filter and here's the new one. Your new oil filter comes with 2 washers at the top, and then in the box, again, you get this big washer to replace on this one. It's a simple screwdriver, take it off, and you just put this one on. Simply gonna take a rag, you grab this, and as you see those little feet just pop off. Again, I'm taking my screwdriver and pry this off. Pry that off. Take the new one and roll it on down. Take the new one, just roll it on down. Take your oil filter. You heard the click. Then you get your wrench and just snug it up. When you put your nut back on, you don't want to over tighten it. You don't want to over tighten it, but you want to make sure it's tight. Then you wipe off any oil, so when you put your new oil in, you can see if there's any leaks. As you see, I'm using Castrol Edge Extended Performance. This says 20,000 miles because I really don't want to do this again. You want to limit to how many times you do this. This is where the oil goes in. And as you see right here, it tells you what it is. Castrol 5-weight 20. I use a very large funnel, and I pour in the first five quarts, and then I will go ahead and test it. I really like using this large funnel, because you can just pour a lot in. So I took out roughly 6 quarts of oil as I'm looking into the pan. And because there's no dipstick and you have to actually check the oil on the gauge, on the instrument panel on the inside, I'm gonna put in 6 quarts. Then I'm gonna start the car up and make sure that no oil is leaking from up underneath, and then I'll put the plastic shield, take it off the ramps, make it flat, then I'll finalize the I'll go ahead and top off the oil to make sure it's exactly where it needs to be. As I'm looking at the plug, I see that there's no leaks. So I'm going to go ahead and tell her to turn it off and then put the cover back on. Now that I know that there's no oil leaking out from the oil plug, I'm going to go ahead and put this plastic piece under. Again, it's just 13 bolts and screws, nothing really to show you. And then I'll take it off the ramp and then check it on the inside. You You know, it's really not that hard. It's just a little tedious. Like I said, it's only 13 bolts. So I'm going to back it up, make it level, and then show you how you make sure that you have the proper amount, and then you add a quarter, I think it's a quarter or half a quart at a time. As per the instructions in the owner's manual, you have to wait until you start the vehicle up, you've let the car sit for 10 minutes, and then you can get an accurate reading. Right now it's warming up, it's only been on for about 3-4 minutes. So in the meantime, I'm going to recycle the oil. You always want to do that, and then I will bring this into the garage and I'll show you how to check on the panel, just how you can get to it and check the oil. Okay. You always want to recycle your oil. After you let the car idle and it gets to operating temperature, you turn it off and you let it sit for 10 minutes. Then you make sure you put it on a level flat surface, and then you could come inside and check the temperature. So what you want to do, as you see, I'm in the car, and you don't start the car, you just press it until it comes on. So then once it comes on, you can hit the OK button. So you hit the OK button, press it until it goes to the service menu, to the main menu. You scroll down to the service menu, press it, you go to the oil level display, press OK. As you see, it says my engine oil level is OK. Press OK. So I am OK. So what I did, I put in 7 quarts. I put in 7 quarts of oil, and that was the reading I got off of 7 quarts of oil. And then make sure you turn the car off. All right, I just held the button to turn it off. So I put in 7 quarts of oil, and we checked it, and it came out just fine. This is actually my first time changing the oil. And like I said, the process is easy. It's just they don't give you a dipstick. I don't know why they don't give you a dipstick. Just give me a dipstick. I don't want to do that. But in any event, that's all you do. So it really wasn't that hard. Like I said earlier, changing the oil on a luxury car, especially on a Jag Xjl portfolio supercharge, isn't that much different, if any. As soon as you take that plastic cover off, which was only 13 bolts and nuts, and that took roughly 3 minutes, 5 minutes, that was nothing. So really not that hard. Change the oil yourself. You're going to save yourself a lot of money. As usual, I appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. And you have a nice day.